So England advanced to the semi-final of the World Cup after beating Norway in the quarter-final, which was a tight affair. Kind of expected it to be. Obviously, Norway putting out Brazil, which may have been a shock to some people. I didn't really think it was a shock. I wasn't really impressed by Brazil a lot throughout the tournament, even though they did pump Scotland. But I mean, that's not really saying a lot. But it was a good battling victory, I guess, for England. I don't think they were brilliant, England, but they didn't really have to be. Norway, I thought, I don't know, they just were extremely underwhelming. I thought Norway. I think there was like moments in the game where they looked good, but they were just really passive, Norway, I thought. And even with that, they could have been 2-0 up in the game. They went 1-0 up through an utter freak goal, which I think was a cross, which Lee Dixon would have told you in the commentary 40 times that it was a cross. Yeah, he was absolutely miserable in commentary, as he usually is. But Norway went 1-0 up, and they had a brilliant opportunity to go 2 up with Sorloth. If he just squares it to Erling Haaland, it's probably 2-0, but he goes on by himself and it comes to nothing. And England get the equaliser just before half time, which was the worst time I think to concede for Norway, and then they ended up losing it in extra time. They did have a goal disallowed, Norway, for a push from Haaland, which I think was right. Like, I mean, you can clearly see Haaland has two hands on him. It's a clear shove. It doesn't matter what kind of bias you have, if you're Scottish or whatever way you want the result to go. It was a foul. It was very clearly a foul, and it got disallowed, which rightly so. And yeah, England won it in extra time after a mistake from Nyland in goal, who has been really good in the tournament, but just made an error, and Bellingham was there to tap in the rebound, and he was the hero for England yet again. They're really relying on him and Harry Kane this tournament, but if you're going to win the World Cup, you do need your big players to turn up, and their two big players have turned up this tournament so far. It was weird, it was kind of similar to I don't want to say it was exactly similar to the DR Congo game, but maybe similar in the way that DR Congo probably could have went 2-0 up as well, and if they had gone 2-0 up, the game could have been very different. I remember Wisa missing a very good opportunity for them to go 2-0 up, and you do feel that they really regretted that. And I think Norway was the same. If they go 2-0 up with that Sorloth chance, I think it's a completely different story. But they didn't take the chance, and England punished them at the end. And that sets up a very tasty semi-final with England and Argentina. We all know the history. Maradona, hand of God. Messi has an unbelievable opportunity if he was to put out England to just live up to that, I guess. It's going to be a very interesting game. Like Argentina, I feel like Argentina have been the best thing about this tournament. I know there's a lot of people that can't stand Argentina, and for certain reasons I understand that, but I just think Argentina have been the most entertaining thing at this tournament. Like, they just can't help but end. Like, their game just always ends up being extremely dramatic because they make a lot of mistakes. Like, they have guys in their team that are just very chaotic, and they will make mistakes, but they will punish you at the other end as well. Like, they have guys like Romero and Martinez, who I think Gary Neville said they're the best worst centre back pairing, which I kind of get what he means by that, because like they can just be so chaotic. Like, you don't really know what you're gonna get from them, but in an Argentina shirt they do normally deliver, but they will make mistakes. Which is why I think the England-Argentina game could be the game of the tournament. There definitely is going to be goals, because anytime Argentina play, they do concede, and they will score goals because of who they have at the other end of the pitch. I find it hard to make a prediction for it. I'm edging Argentina just because they're the world champions and they're just winners, so they are. And England haven't done that. They've not won a tournament in God knows how long. But I don't know, the last couple of rounds, I do feel like England, they could have been put out in probably each round, you could have made a case for, but they survived. And as much as I think Thomas Tuchel was really frustrated with the performance, because like, he knows they're going to have to be better if they play Argentina, but at the same time, like, these tournaments, it really doesn't matter how you play as long as you win the game. That's all that matters. And I think they'll need that against Argentina as well. There will be moments where they're going to struggle, and they'll be in a fight. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Like, I think France and Spain will be a decent game as well, but I just think Argentina and England, it's going to be an absolute battle. And it'll be such like an interesting watch. But it's interesting as well after the post match of the game against Norway. The interviewer, I seen his interview with Jude Bellingham, and it seems like they're really trying to put pressure. I mean, whether he meant it or not, I think he did mean it. I think the interviewer knew what he was doing. He asked Bellingham about Tuchel's comments about how it wasn't a good enough performance, and Bellingham kind of hit back at it, saying, it's tough out there, it's a tough environment. So yeah, it's odd. Like, the English media do really seem to like to stir up their dressing room for some weird reason. I don't know why. All it's going to do is going to cause issues for them, probably, going into the Argentina game. But it'll be interesting to see if that does have an effect or not. I don't think it'll have that big an effect. It does seem like there have been past issues with Tuchel and Bellingham, and it hasn't really seemed to affect Bellingham's performances like at all. And sometimes you maybe do need a guy like that in a team that doesn't really care. I mean, maybe he has a bit of an ego, but I mean, if he does it on the pitch, I think that's all that matters. If you're going to have an ego, I think it's fine as long as you deliver. No one cares then, because you're at least backing up. And so far this tournament, he has backed up, to be fair. Looking at it from the France-Spain game, I just fancy France. Like, I don't know what it is about Spain. I think they've been really underwhelming at this tournament. They're really reliant on Yamal. They don't have Nico Williams isn't really starting as much as he was at the Euros. Yeah, I don't know. They're not a very exciting watch, Spain, right now. Mikel Merino's saved them the last two games, like he has for Arsenal a lot, coming on late at striker, scoring. And listen, I think he could be important if the game is very tight. But I just think France will have too much quality, so they will. I think Yamal's going to have the game of his life for Spain to win that, and I just can't see it. If I'm being quite honest, I think France will advance. I think the biggest question mark is Argentina England. I think that will be extremely close and pretty hard to call. I'd slightly edge Argentina just because of the winning mentality, but I don't know. Like, I do think this England team, I could see them at the final, just because I mean they've not been great the last couple of games. They've still got out it. They've survived. So yeah, I don't know. It's a hard one to call, Argentina England, but I'd maybe just edge Argentina. So going forward, I'm going to try and upload more frequently. We'll do videos reacting to both semi-finals and the final, and as club football approaches, we'll do some videos maybe previewing that as well, maybe like predictions for the upcoming season, and maybe some like big news that drops in terms of transfers and that. So if you enjoyed this, leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and thanks for listening, and have a good day.